Hello and welcome to all you Leos. Welcome you Leos out there. Welcome to the monthly horoscopes, the general look at your chart at Leo for May of 2013. First of all, I know that maybe I shouldn't do this, but there's so many people asking me what's the right pronunciation of my name. So it is Veerle. I never say it actually. I don't do it consciously, but it is Veerle. So for those of you who are curious, you do know now. But let's go back to you Leos. What is happening for you Leos there in the month of May? It's a very fresh month. It's an interesting month, and it's a very important one for you because there's a solar eclipse. And it has to do with you, of course, because the sun is your ruler, and there's also a lunar eclipse, which also involves your sun. So a lot of heart energy going on, and I think most Leos do have this big heart for life. So let's have a look, let's break this down. There are a couple of things happening. The solar eclipse, then there is the Pluto-Uranus square going exact, and then there is the lunar eclipse, and then there is a theme going on here. The theme of Caput al Goal, which I'll talk about you in a minute. But first of all, the solar eclipse is in Taurus. It's a building up the first days of the month towards the 10th of May, because there is the solar eclipse. Your ruler, the sun, and the moon together at 19 degrees of Taurus in your 10th house, the house of work. Now, it's also Mercury and Mars conjuncting that Taurus solar eclipse. So there is a cluster of planets in your 10th house, and the 10th house is your reputation, it is your social status. Even if you don't have a job, it's about how you want other people to see you. There's a big beam on that. So I think for a lot of Leos, especially those who have a Leo rising, so we have an ascendant in Leo, there will be this emphasis on work. For many it could mean, actually it's the axis of course, the 10th house work, and then the 4th house home. So some of you maybe will move, but for others it will be a new work situation or a new beginning at some level when it considers work, or an ending, but an ending that is needed to go towards something new, something more grounded, something more profound. This Taurus energy slows people down, and it's meant to be that way, to slow you down, to become more grounded about this 10th house area of life. So very interesting for you Leos, and especially for those who really want to put more action when it comes to their career. They can really then start planting new seeds there, because that is a solar eclipse, and that is a new moon. It's a new beginning, a new start. So that's good. Then towards the 21st of May, there is a Pluto-Uranus square. Now, I don't believe in the fact that this Pluto-Uranus square is exact then, on the 21st of May. I don't believe in the fact that when planets are exact, then something happens. I don't believe that. I believe that there is always a building up, and the working before this exact position is even harder than when it is happening. So I think for many people this is on the background, the Pluto-Uranus square. For you, it's in the 6th house, and that is very important because it has to do with your day-to-day stuff, your day-to-day routines. The Pluto-Uranus square wants us to transform, wants us to start, wants us to become more true, and to become more real. And for you, Pluto in the 6th could really mean that you change your work, or you change your routines, to say the least. And with Uranus there in the 9th, it also means your belief system. So all of a sudden you could change your whole belief system. But as I said, this is going on the background. This is not something new. Also important is towards the 25th of May, there is a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, which is also a fire sign. So that goes really well with you Leos. And it's in your 5th house, which is one of my favorite houses. It's such a Leo house. The fifth house is the house of creation. It's the house of self-expression. That's why it's so important for a Leo. Even if you are a shy Leo, all Leos should shine in some way. And this fifth house is not only about your creativity, it could be children, it could also be romance. So what is going on there? Is there a completion of something? You know, all relationships start in the fifth house. Because there is, I think for some Leos, their heart is also beating a bit faster. Or it could simply mean that their hobby, or the way that they express themselves, they have found a way, and something comes to a completion. Could be the case as well. This opposition squares up to Neptune, but I don't think that will be so difficult for you, because it's such a pleasant 5th house, 11th house thing going on. So the sun is in your 11th house of friends and aspirations. So maybe there's something going on with a friend, and maybe a friend is becoming a bit more than a friend. So all nice things going on. Even that last thing that I talked about could be a bit misty with that Neptune there in your 8th house. So it's not always that clear. But the most tricky thing, you could say, for all of us during this month is Caput Algol, and that is a fixed star that has to do with losing one's mind. It comes from, or the word alcohol is derived from it as well, I guess, I think. And so what does it mean? It is a fixed star at 25, 26 degrees of Taurus. And as I said, that solar eclipse was happening on 19 degrees, around the 10th of May. So all these planets, these 4 planets I talked about, the Sun, the Moon, Mars, Mercury, they are all going a bit further after the 10th and progressing that Caput Algol. So during those days, it could be the case, just be aware of it, that you lose your mind when it comes to your work. So don't go over the top. That's the only advice. And if you're aware of that, you'll be fine. Also on the 25th is an important day, not only for that lunar eclipse, but because Mars is conjuncting Caput Algol on that day. So it's about action. So mind your actions around that day as well. If you are being a little bit aware of the fact around those days that you say, hey, I'm losing my mind here a little bit, well, then take a step backwards and it will pass, because these are quick transits. So that's for the month of May for you Leos. I hope you have a good Leo month, and I wish you all the best, and see you next month. Bye bye.